Boulet Brothers, and we are here with Digital Spy.
She'll make you scream. Drag, 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 drag.
My favorite moment from season 3 was the haunted house. I mean, I don't think the competitors were aware that we are always lurking in the shadows. We're on set. Whether they see us or not, we're there. And we could hear those screams coming from that abandoned attraction, and I couldn't get enough of it.
I felt like it was sort of a throwback to season 1, right? Like the first extermination of season 1 with the coffin. The haunted house to me felt like, you know, a little old school.
Sure,
Dracula.
same world for sure.
Yeah, because the other exterminations in season 3 were really unique, but I felt like that was a throwback and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, sometimes the simple ones are the best ones.
Yeah, I think for me, episode 4 of season 3 was my favorite moment when Madeline Hatter had her meltdown on set. That was amazing. Of course, when we were filming it, it was my least favorite moment of the entire year.
But who doesn't enjoy witnessing a good mental meltdown?
As a viewer, as a fan watching the show, it is one of my favorite moments. For
so
sure.
good.
Honestly, this is so humiliating.
Big picture.
The big picture, Clint.
When we cast Landon and Hollow, we had no concerns about them being tokenistic. They're monsters in their own right. They're huge creative forces. They belong on the show.
And you can see like how far they came and just their creative force. Like both of those characters are drag, filth, horror, and glamour personified. Now saying that, who knows, next season, I don't know, it's a tall order to be not only a drag king, but also to be into horror and, all the things that you have to be into Dragula. So I don't know if there'll be a million of them next year. Maybe the whole cast will be drag kings. Who knows? But, that's not really something that we pay attention to. If you fit the show, then we cast you.
Just because we cast a king this season and the king happened to win, or we have a AFAB performer on season 4, that does not guarantee that in season 5 there'll be one, or even in season 6 and so on. Now, it can also be where if we have 5 amazing kings, they may all be on the season. When we say it really doesn't matter what their gender is or how they identify, we mean it.
I don't think there's any kind of particular artist we would like to include. The door is wide open. So if you fit the tenets of Dragula, drag, filth, horror, and glamour, you have equal opportunity to be on the show. It's important for us to stay in contact with the contestants after they're on the show initially, because we want to make sure that they're not just, they get thrown into this crazy whirlwind, and we want to make sure that they don't come out on the other side not knowing what to do. Like some of them have more experience, some of them are new and they don't know how to take bookings or how to do travel or any of that stuff. So we try to give them all the information that we can to help them succeed. It's important to not just abandon them,
Yeah, generally the world of business sucks, and we want to make ourselves available should they need advice or some course correction. For their own benefit and to avoid them doing stupid, embarrassing things once they're on the show, embarrassing us.
But it's not, we don't stay in touch with all of them. The more competitors that come on the show, the busier everybody gets. It's harder to stay in touch with all competitors from all 3 seasons. But for the most part, we check in with them.
Yeah, it is kind of a twisted little family. Like when we see each other, generally, everyone, even if the ones that we don't speak to regularly, we have really good relationships with them.
We want them all to succeed, that's for sure.
Except for maybe like one, but
She's just better when she fails, you know what I mean? That's all.
Just brings out the
it's
best
an
in
underdog
her.
kind of thing. A lot of people have asked us about a Dragula All-Stars, and I think that when you think of Dragula, you have to think of it as its own beast. I think people are pulling that sort of reference from another reality show, and if we were to do something that featured competitors from all seasons, I think we would do our own brand of that. It would be a new, unique format.
Yeah, we don't feel pressure to do an All-Stars type season from the outside world because it's something that we're interested in doing anyway.
Yeah, we would like to get them all back in front of the camera because we really are fans of all of the competitors from all 3 seasons. We can say some of it.
Yeah, we have a lot cooking for 2020. Of course, there's a 4th season of the show.
Yes.
As mentioned earlier, this idea of bringing the competitors back, some of them from all 3 seasons of the show. We're working on a book. And also, we're very excited about some opportunities to have some scripted things produced, stories told from us, presented to the world.
Yeah, we've kind of been working on fantasy and horror fiction for a long time. and we're starting to get the opportunity to bring that to the big screen. So we're excited about that.
So a few people have asked because our looks in the third season were so sickening, all of them, but particularly the one where we were issuing the challenges where we were bald and our big like Ming the Merciless collars. We actually did. We shaved our heads skin bald. We were eyebrowless. I think we spent the majority of 2013 or 2019 as we called it in our kind of like golems, like this
Yeah,
weird
we look
golem
like
mode. Hideous.
Nosferatu's fresh from the crypt. Everyone asks us about, did you shave your head? I don't know, maybe it's just me. I don't understand what the big deal is. Hair grows back. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, they were freaking out like it was like such a commitment because they were like, girl, I saw you on screen, and we were like, that is a sick bald cap, and we were like,
I was like,
It
okay,
was,
yes,
wasn't
I am
it?
a
No.
talented special effects makeup artist. That's like Bitch Pudding when she shaved her eyebrows
and
and
she was like freaking
in
out.
season
and
2, and
crying.
I was like, girl, they're gonna grow back
It's
in
like 2
weeks.
weeks. Relax, honey.
The origin of us appearing in the same look was when we used to host nightlife events, and we were sort of these Circus Barker characters, and it was just the fantasy that we created. So we were on either side of the stage, and we matched, and it just sort of made sense. And you know, we've been all of our projects are creative projects that we work on together. So it's just sort of everything we produce, it comes from both of our minds. So that's what it's about, I suppose.
Yeah, there's a little particular detail that some people pick up on. You know, most of the time where it's not exactly identical, it's a mirror. So if I have something on my left, Drac has it on her right. And it's very rare that you'll see us both have an embellishment on the same side, so that when we look at each other, it's like we're looking in a mirror.
We're more sisters than twins, I would say. Someone to a trained eye, they can see the difference. A lot of people are like, "Oh my God, you guys look exactly alike." I'm like,
Not really.
we don't look anything like each other. No.
To say it like this, we know that fans enjoyed seeing the contestants and the competitors out of drag for the third season of the show. It's going to have to be good enough right there because you will never see us out of drag on the show.
If we wanted you to see us out of drag, you would.
It would have already happened.
Respect our privacy.
As far as the growth of the show and whether or not there should be a fear of it becoming mainstream, I don't think we fear that at all. The spirit of the show is so strange and punk and really celebrates that otherness in the artists that we feature. We also never get edits or
Yeah, we
are
never
forced to change anything from the networks or the providers. So we're allowed to keep our hands squarely on the reins, and we are going to drive this down the weirdest, strangest, wildest road as long as we can.
Yeah, so far, there's been no request to change anything from any of the networks. And to be honest with you, if we got a bunch of flack and they asked us to change a lot of things about the show or make it more mainstream, we would just leave and find another network. I think as long as we are at the helm of the show, it will always remain filthy and fabulous.
If fans have only watched the show on TV, they could probably expect a lot more profanity in real life. Definitely the same type of wild punk energy. Like, we got so much positive feedback from the last tour we did, like here through the UK. I want to make note that the fans from the UK are through the roof wild, like
Yeah, for
wild
sure.
animals. It's like a different beast from the US, and we get a different type of love when we come here. We really enjoyed meeting the fans in the second season, and it's experiential. Like, a lot of people said, like, oh, this is the craziest, best tour I've ever seen. This is so incredible, because the performances, like the show, are very outside the box. Like,
Yeah,
we're
it's
breaking
not-
boundaries.
It's not that kind of drag show that people are used to, I think, in the UK. And on top of that, we like to pull the crowd into the show, too. So there's a little bit of fun there.
Several opportunities.
Yeah, so if you want to experience your own extermination live on stage, you can come and join us at the Billy Brothers live tour. This group of competitors is much nicer than the last one.
It's true.
So,
So we imagine a much more peaceful time on the tour bus.
yes, I think it's going to be
Quieter.
It's gonna be quieter. Yeah, more comfortable, less annoying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hopefully we're right on all of those,
Right.
all those accounts. No, how will the shows be different? I think
It's a different energy. Like season 2's live show is more punk. Like the season season 2 of the TV show was more punk rock, I think, and season 3 was more horror. So I think you'll see that reflected in the live shows and the performances. And we also got to bring Victoria Black from season 2 on this tour, which she wasn't able to make the last one, so we're excited about that. She's a really amazing artist and is bringing something special too. So I think it's just going to be amazing. And we have Landon, who, you know, has amazing shows lined up. So it's going to be a great experience.
Oh, and one of the things that we're including in the tour with the 3rd season of the show, and it's a direct response to the feedback that we got after the 2nd season's tour, was they wanted to see us perform. They loved us hosting and they loved seeing the Boulets live, but they wanted the opportunity to see us in a show, and we have brought a show to end all shows for this tour. We're really excited.
Yeah, it's a little difficult to produce the tour, but also host it, and you know, it's a lot on us, but we don't get to come here very often, so we decided to bring a big, filthy show for you this time. I think the European fans are more excited to see us, I guess, because they don't get to see us as often as people in the US do. And they bring us lots of presents, which we love, so that automatically makes them our favorite audience.
Absolutely.